The TVWAN News is proudly brought to you by
BSP, our bank, our people.
Good evening, this is TV1 News. I'm Maricela Kelleton.
And I'm Rex Litter. Join me later in the Sports Bulletin for Sports.
In this edition, upskilling local workforce at Basamuk and Kurumbukari. NIP tourism sector needs support, and Wigmen maintain winning form. A small community-based organization of remote Bundi in Medan province welcomed the donation of an open backland cruiser from Mapai Transport on Saturday, June 17. The presentation was done at the Gambog Orphan Resource Center in Simbu by Willie Komba, a representative of Mapai Transport, in partnership with the Sir Brian Bell Foundation and the Gambog Orphan Resource Center. Vincent Kumura, the director of Kumura Foundation, said they will be building 10 community-held posts of Bundi and a 60-person orphan student dormitory at Gambog, Simbu Province, including a few other major activities that require logistical support. As a small community-based organization, the donated vehicle will help them save a lot of cost and time for transporting building materials and other items. Kumura further paid tribute to the late owner of Mapai, Chief Jacob Luke, who visited the Gambong Orphan Resource Center and Snow Pass in November of 2021 to see Kumura Foundation's projects. He acknowledged the management team of Mapai Transport for honoring late Jacob Luke in continuing his spirit to serve. Locals from the surrounding communities employed as plant operators at Ramoniko Management Limited's Kurumbukari mine recently underwent an internal process plant training. The trainings are part of the company's corporate obligations for communities in the corridor of the Ramoniko and Cobalt project to provide employment opportunities for locals. Today, many locals are trained and employed in different departments at Kurumbukari Mine and Basamuk Refinery.
Last month, 60 operators who were employed locally from the surrounding communities to work in the mine's critical facilities, the beneficiation plant and the wash plant, underwent the process plant operator training to upskill their knowledge and get certified in various vital components of the plant they operate in. Trainer and facilitator of the process training, Edward Yagama, said most of the local operators needed to also know the different components of the machines they use every day. He said the first phase of the training was theory, and the second phase, trainees did the practical component that involved troubleshooting and rundown of the different parts of the plant. The trainer said that the operators are the custodian of the equipment they operate, and for them to know the equipment they use is vital.
There are things that you can't get in the classroom. It's more hands-on, so the people will get to understand. And especially when we are dealing with locals who the literacy level is very low, but the visual contact part of the brain is very active because they see and they learn.
Yagama said the local operators have been working alongside other experienced operators for many years but lack the specifics of the plant and sometimes cannot identify the correct defaults for repair, that they have to wait for the other experienced operators to identify the issue. The upcoming training will be basic process control and the type of controllers used at the Kurumbukari mines processing facilities and plants. KBK Deputy Mine and Works Manager Matthew Francis said the mine has been providing employment opportunities to the impacted communities for many years.
But as per the MOA also with regard to landowners and so forth, most trainings that done here, especially for the locals, but we also do in-house trainings for our national and some that require further trainings like.
He said these internal trainings certify employees, and with this work experience, they can get promoted or gain more salary to improve living standards.
So we are trying to work closely with NATTB to do as a certified role that can be recognized by other institutions or mining that does processing and so forth. So it's a start.
Jobs that require qualified personnel to take up, the company recruits from outside the mine communities. Susan Oreape, TVWAN News.
New Ireland Province Governor Sir Julius Chen will present to the 11th Parliament the proposed amendment bill to the Constitution on Provincial Autonomy. The PNG Trade Union Congress last week voiced its support for this amendment. The proposed amendment on provincial autonomy for New Ireland will capture the decentralization of powers to achieve aspects such as political, administrative, and financial autonomy. The Papua New Guinea Trade Union Congress voiced its support recently.
We are strongly behind the need for a strong state of Papua New Guinea. And precisely because of this, we believe that given what's happening around the country right now, there's decay, and some may not work good as much as they should be. Now we can debate the reasons for that, and again, now is not the time, but it's been generally observed that if we continue down this road, we will not be able to sustain ourselves. And so as a nation, and in order to stand together for the greater good of this country, the idea of provincial autonomy comes on stream.
Additionally, Pasca says that people from particular groups of places may tend to know how to resolve their issues and may have slightly different priorities than the rest of the country.
The local situations in each provinces. Centralization always stagnates and has caused stagnation in the regions. That's why we see a lot of urbanization, migration, and we see, Mosby and Lay, growing out of proportions. The build-up of block settlements, which becomes, which harbors criminals, and so the law and order. So those are the side effects of centralization.
The autonomous arrangement will enable a shared power between the national government and the provinces, which will allow the provinces to remain as an integral part of Papua New Guinea. Mondays are set aside for community work in New Ireland Province. While applauding this, the New Ireland Provincial Police Commander, Superintendent Albert Belli, encouraged residents to go the extra mile by cleaning up their villages.
The districts of Namatanai and KVN resemble ghost towns as the general populace remain in their respective villages on Mondays to attend to community work, commonly referred to as community line. Every Mondays, only a few buses and dinghies come to town while the KVN market is closed for business. While applauding this initiative in New Ireland Province, Provincial Police Commander Superintendent Albert Belli encouraged locals to go the extra mile by cleaning around the village and using their initiative.
Tradition here is, I would say, over a very high standard. The Mamai chiefs and also the leaders at the village level, they're still taking control, stock of the community's involvement, which is a nice thing. But just one thing I just want to add more is the community work, community line we call it. Every Monday is assigned for community work, and people are observing through the community work. So in New Ireland, there's no people, coming and doing informal or any active roles, that they wanted to do in towns like Namatanai or Kevin, but they stayed back most time in the village. But again, I want to put this right. You have an obligation that you have not fulfilled. That is to work your community around that you stay around, clean around your flower beds, get drains, dug up if that needs to be, rake the place. So it's also the time for the families to get it together, like father and mother to have, discussions with the children.
PPC Belly said that is the foundation of community work rather than loitering near the Bolominski Highway or gathering at a table market. He also encouraged the active participation of the youth as this will keep them out of trouble. Salome Vincent, TVWAN News.
TVWAN News continues after the break. Stay with us for stories from New Island tourism to the TVWAN and Garamut Festival in Medan.
It was during and after COVID that really motivated me to want to take up life insurance. I think savings is very important, and I think One Talk Delight provides a disciplined approach to savings, and it's a good investment to want to think about the future because it's always nice to have plans for what you want to do later on.
With you for life.
Enjoying life when we work together, making happy memories that last forever. Hot and talk, young or old, let's Calrace family meal with home. We'll bring out the smiles cause it's our favorite for minds. Tennessee Cola, scale rice, don't scale price. Tennessee Cola, scale rice, don't scale price. Amber, you like it?
More clean, more sweet. Flame natural white sugar. Make more.
A true champion is measured by their courage, their determination, and their passion to never give up and to always keep trying. With a delicious Milo in milk taste and added nutrients, Milo in milk is a great way to fuel our little champions with nourishing energy every day. Because true champions give it their all.
Milo, PNG and Mia. Find PNG made.
The Toyota JD Hi-Ace bus comes in 14 and 15-seater high-roof luxury model powered by 2.8 liters JD engine for optimal performance output, fuel efficiency and quietness, designed with improved safety features and easy maneuverability for tire steering angle. The Hi-Ace lift suspension and annular frame structure is opted for smooth ride, comfort and safety. Experience the ride on the Hi-Ace bus and experience the Hi-Ace pride, the bus that exceeds all expectation.
There's nothing more intense than this thing. I've been in racing my entire life since I was 3 or 4 years old. Anytime you get in one of these things, your life is in danger.
There's no room for error. I mean, this is life or death. I'm determined.
We travel across the country with this beast, and people just go nuts.
Tino for Suamala. What a pass from Sam Barrels.
Welcome back. The Universal Church of Jesus in PNG held a national miracle crusade for the first time in Papua New Guinea, where thousands turned up to venues in Port Moresby, Lae and Arawa on Sunday, June 18 to participate. At Sejong Gai's indoor stadium, more than 6,000 followers gathered, filling the stadium, forcing gates to close for the main service because it was overcrowded. The UCJ of Papua New Guinea planned this miracle crusade for several weeks and were overwhelmed by the huge crowd that exceeded expectation on Sunday. In Port Moresby, 4,500 people attended the main service, while another service was held for the remaining 1,665 who couldn't go in earlier. Bishop Randall Brito from Brazil arrived on Saturday accompanied by his wife Claudia, main celebrant. After a couple of welcome dances, the bishop straight away took to singing and praying for those in need.
I was responsible at that time, as I am right now, for Asia and Oceania, the work of the UCPG. I had to supervise. Then I was praying, and God said, Papua New Guinea. Then I started to learn about Papua New Guinea.
Main celebrant Bishop Randall Brito emphasized on the principle of tithing and giving the offering for blessings, basing on the verse from Malachi chapter 3 in the Old Testament, because there is a promise to deliver a person from poverty through giving.
God says, try me now in this, says the Lord of hosts, the Lord of armies, if I will not open for you the windows of heaven and pour out for you such blessings that there will be never enough room to receive it, to keep it.
The main highlight was praying over the sick and those with physical, social, mental and spiritual needs. Several people who received a healing were called up to give their testimony.
God is speaking here. He says, behold, all souls are mine. Behold, be attentive. Stop doing what you're doing. Don't get distracted. Pay attention to me, God says. All souls are mine.
Bishop Randall blessed the country before church members distributed the blessing oil that was promised to faithful followers early this year. The crusade was telecasted simultaneously in Lae and Arawa. 1,665 people turned up at the Lae event, while 252 attended in Arawa. Bishop Randall Brito, who came all the way from Brazil, said it was a very rewarding trip for him to be in Port Moresby, because it was him who received an inspiration from God to let the church evangelize in Papua New Guinea 5 years ago.
So it's a privilege to be here in Papua New Guinea. I remember when 5 years back I was praying and the Holy Spirit showed me the need of our church here in Papua New Guinea. Then we sent a missionary, and today, after 5 years, we are holding the first crusade of faith, which I believe will be remarkable for the lives of thousands of people. And may the Lord bless Papua New Guinea, the authorities, the people. Let this be a peaceful and very prosperous country. In the name of Jesus Christ, amen.
The tourism and hospitality industry in New Island province has picked up after COVID-19, with local business operators promoting the natural beauty of their province. Owner of the Vanbird Cottage in Caven Town and the Put Treehouse Resort, Stephen Laravin, said local businesses would appreciate the support of their provincial government and local MPs.
New Island Province, most commonly referred to as Bilas Palace, boasts some of the best surf and dive spots in Papua New Guinea, with its untouched white sandy beaches, picture postcard seas, authentic local cuisine, and extraordinary cultures and traditions. Local business owners are tapping into the natural beauty of the maritime province, enticing local and international tourists to create unforgettable memories there. Owner of the Ventbird Cottage in KVN Town and the Putput Treehouse Resort, Stephen Lavarabin, outlined that business has picked up after the COVID-19 in 2020. Local businesses, especially in the tourism and hospitality industry, have formed networks to help each other out. However, the environment would be conducive if their members of parliament can support the industry as well.
One of our concerns, like they're not utilizing us. Right now, we just mentioned that last week the government opened a executive hotel for its open members and all this. And for us, the local operators, it's like a challenge to us that you want to retain, the provincial government want to retain the business and utilize it as it is. I'm not complaining about, getting right viewers, I'm not complaining about the government not helping us. No. When I started this business, I started with my own pocket money. And I'm a striver. I don't rely on, handouts and all this. No.
Lavarabin touched on the New Ireland provincial government's aspiration of attaining autonomy, saying this requires a bottom-up approach. Hence, the business of running lodges, resorts or hotels should be given to local operators to boost local economy. This, in turn, will contribute to financial independence for the province, which only has 2 districts.
People want them now working autonomy. When something and government will impact, and that I'm speaking on behalf of a lot of networks around town, even the other operators, because we actually set this view. The accommodation side of things, leave it to the local operators, and people are busy long while you deal with other stuff. The other issue that we faced here is our agency that's supposed to administer and run training and connect us to the other markets around within the country and abroad. Our tourism bureau in New Ireland is it's not functioning well. It's handicapped, I can say it.
Lavarabin said local operators have had no training from the mandated tourism agency for the past 5 years. He hopes that the tourism industry in New Ireland will be prioritized and the provincial government and office of the local MPs will work with them to inject money back into their communities.
And now the finance news. The kina closed unchanged at $0.2810 in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, your kina was buying $0.2735 $0.3942 Australian dollars, $0.2423 euro, and 38.41 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, copra, palm oil, crude oil, and copper closed higher. The rest closed the day lower. And on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed lower. The ASX is trading higher, and all ordinaries is trading higher as well. Regional news is next. Stay with us.
There's a sense of pride when you're able to do something right, a financial decision that has just really good benefits. With BSP Life Insurance, there's that alleviation of that worry when you pass away. The benefits of the BSP Life Insurance would meet those expenses on behalf of my family. If you're young and you have kids, you owe it to your children to make sure they're not left behind when you pass on.
With you for life. He loves the Maroons. He loves the Blues. But there's one thing that brings everyone together. SB Lager, Buniam Yumi.
A quick favorite meal for the day does feel good. Snacks Noodles is my choice for a simple meal. It is easy to prepare and fast to cook. And with a touch of flavor and ingredients, quality noodles that can be cooked and enjoyed in many different ways. You see, my whole family loves it. It's made here in PNG and comes in different pack sizes. Snacks Noodles, tastier but you like it more.
Hiya, Mama. You wait then, let me add him special flavor.
Put in more flavor, put in more taste. Add your kakadu, get up and big smile on face. Time for kimchi and a great kumutu. Sip, sip, the moo, yes, magic on you.
Maggi, the taste PNG loves.
Hardware House launches the low-cost quick-build kit home, built with quality building materials from the leading manufacturer of steel products and kit homes, Atlas Steel. Going now at introductory prices: 1-bedroom kit home at 79,000 kina, 2-bedroom kit home at 99,900 kina, and 3-bedroom kit home at 125,000 kina. You can also opt for solar units to be installed in the kit home at an extra charge. For more information, email info@hardwarehouse.com.pg.
Superstition ain't the way.
Let the battle begin!
He's knocked out! That's a big right hand and he's gone! And I don't think he'll get up from that. This fight could be over! Oh, Mayweather makes him pay! He's not going to make it! 9 and 10! And that's the fight! It is over!
Knockouts, only on Fight Sports.
What did you see?
It's big. They mad.
It's above us.
Premieres Saturday, June 24th, 9 p.m. on HBO.
Welcome back. In regional news, despite a decision to delay the release of more than 1 million tons of treated nuclear wastewater into the Pacific Ocean this summer, Japan has started conducting tests at its Fukushima power plant. In January, the Japanese government announced it was adopting a revised action plan on the discharge. The Pacific Islands Forum said Japan had assured them it would hold off until experts verified it was safe to do so. But last Tuesday, the operator of the Fukushima nuclear plant, Tokyo Electric Power Company Holdings, said it was testing a process to release the water into the sea. The Fukushima plant would run out of space, adding that this week's tests were using fresh water instead of the treated water. But the Pacific Islands Forum said its independent experts were not convinced the release would be safe. It's a near certainty that having children means getting less sleep, and for almost 500,000 Australian kids living with neurodisability, sleep problems can be especially severe. Now, a study is underway to develop national guidelines to help manage sleep issues for them and their families.
George Dinkelman is the delight of his mother's life. But his sleep has been a big challenge since birth.
There are some days when he's still awake at 11 o'clock at night.
The Year 2 student lives with Down syndrome.
A donkey! Good boy.
It's estimated 80% of children with neurodisabilities, such as genetic disorders, brain injuries and autism, have trouble with their sleep.
He spends a lot of time sharing mummy's bed, and I spend a lot of time checking to make sure that he's okay.
Dr. Jasneek Chawla is a paediatric respiratory and sleep physician. She's running a 3-phase study with the aim of writing national guidelines to help healthcare workers manage sleep issues.
It's not just the child, it actually impacts the parents, it impacts the siblings, and if we can improve this for the families, then we actually make a huge difference to their quality of life.
The study involves a survey of parents, the development of a new sleep monitoring mat and a trial of different sleep interventions. 2-year-old Jasira was born with a rare genetic condition and is taking part, along with her parents.
On a bad day, she won't sleep the whole day or the night. And we're just tag teaming, trying to get her, trying to put her to sleep.
Researchers say nearly 500,000 Australian children live with neurodisability, and it's estimated 4 in 5 of them have sleep difficulties. That's a lot of weary children and families.
We all need sleep. It's an essential need for every human.
It's hoped the guidelines will be ready by 2025.
The pharmacy guild is warning hundreds of stores would close if the federal government's new medicine dispensing policy goes ahead.
Commissioned by the Pharmacy Guild of Australia suggests more than 650 community pharmacies right across Australia could be forced to close, costing more than 20,000 jobs if this policy is implemented. Trent Toomey is the president of that organisation. He spoke a little bit earlier on ABC News Breakfast. Here's a little bit of that.
The report has quantified the cuts to Australia's community pharmacies as $4.5 billion, which ultimately means there are going to be 20,000 pharmacists, unfortunately, and pharmacy assistants lose their job, and up to 665 pharmacies will just, unfortunately, cease to exist.
The cheaper medicines policy by the federal government is set to help 6 million Australians who suffer from chronic illness. It allows them to pick up 2 months' worth of supplies of their medicine from pharmacies. Currently, they can only pick up around 1 month worth of supplies. And now, when they pick up those supplies of medicine, pharmacies actually get a fulfilment fee, so they're concerned that potentially that they might be missing out on that. And this is what this report argues, that they could miss out on as much as $4.5 billion from those sales. Now the federal government says $1.6 billion over 4 years, we're talking about over 4 years here, will be saved by these people with chronic illnesses thanks to this, and it's available for 600 medications. But of course there is some concern it could lead to shortfalls. Now the federal government, the Federal Health Minister Mark Butler has labelled this a scare campaign. We've got a little bit of a statement from him here. He says cheaper medicines has been enthusiastically welcomed by patient groups and doctors groups, including Consumer Health Forum, the Heart Foundation, the Lung Foundation, Breast Cancer Network, Rural Doctors Association, and so on. Now that policy is implemented from September, Lorna. So it seems like it is going ahead for now to help with those cost of living pressures, but of course that concern there from pharmacies that they could take a hit as well as part of this.
And back home, a nurse working at Modilon General Hospital is calling upon the senior executive management of the Medan Provincial Health Authority to get their priorities in order, including carrying out surveys to counter and improve service delivery in the province. Nurse Karen Demok called upon the senior executive management to recall a workshop that was held by the National Health Department on National Health Service Standards last November. She said it was high time now revisited and acted upon implementing the National Health Service Standards by conducting surveys in all health facilities in Medan Province.
Nurse Karen Demok believes surveys on health infrastructure in Medan Province will give authorities insight into what needs fixing to improve service delivery.
The late Boatao and his team, they came all the way from the health department to teach us about this National Health Service Standards. Now, but you may start working survey, lo PHA blow you me, now lo look survey, lo standards blow, all health facilities blow you me.
She said the Going Rural concept was initiated 3 years ago, but believes there isn't much to show for because rural health facilities still lack basic medical resources and infrastructure. Nurse Demok said the senior executive management of the Provincial Health Authority needs to revisit the National Health Service Standards and conduct surveys.
Facility 1, level 1, whenever something must get the level 1. The manpower, the drugs, the everything in there. Level 2, level 3.
Nurse Demok also said the Modilon General Hospital is a specialist provincial referral hospital and a teaching hospital. It should have more senior medical officers and registrars available to teach health and medical students.
We are saying this hospital is a specialist provincial referral hospital, teaching hospital. But them the look of them. Where are the SMOs? Where are the registrars? Look, I'm not teaching what divine word MBBS now. All this line here.
some of Modilon General Hospital infrastructure is undergoing renovation, and is having an adverse effect on staff and patients as well, especially the labor ward and emergency department. Staff have been reduced and now work under double shifts, while patients have to make do with sleeping on the floor due to limited bed space within the temporary blocks that house them. Staff concur with Nurse Demox, saying the emergency department is currently substandard for a level 5 health facility. Meanwhile, their demands from June 6, 2023 is still being looked at by the management as the 14-day ultimatum nears end. Susan Oriape, TVWAN News.
Kayan village in Bugia district, Medan province recently held a rare ceremony to unveil its garamut and mask for performance in festivals for this year. It was an initiation into the community to exhibit and showcase before going into an actual show or festival out of the village. The elders and leaders of the Kayan community organized this event as part of the traditional rituals, but also to allow young men and women in their community to have a feel of how such events are hosted and performed, so they learn and promote it. Caspar Pius, a revered chief or kukurai, has been promoting his culture and tradition to outside regions in the hope that the culture must not fade with modern transitions. He urged youths to ensure they participate and continue to carry forward their culture, as is the case with many customs, traditions and cultures in the country. As modernization advances, the younger generation tend to gradually drift away from cultural heritage and identity, including not speaking their native languages, traditional dances, and songs associated with various rituals, customs, and traditions. This may be due to parents not passing on this vital knowledge and practices. One Kayan community resource leader called out parents of children who performed during the ceremony for not doing so.
So now that they knowledge is better, you can look him on the young only singing, only singing on the pillars before. Don't Papa in the walking pillars, but beginning, and singing on my walking pillars before. Hey, wait a minute, Papa, you are singing, beginning now singing library. Pajima no beginning blah. Shame on you, friends. Shame on you, Papa Mama. You go away. Now you look at PNG, sorry, I'm sorry. Without no good luck, pillars. Just because you Papa is singing. How about you pass on that disability bring you a beginning for you? Sabosim Lokayan, you give him cultural life inside Lokayan.
Another leader is a Garamut and TVWAN owner called on the youth to take heed of the performances and learn it. They were encouraged to carve their own Garamut as a must for communication purposes.
So now me ask him all the problem Kayan. You play, you must try no work him. You play that or something is tough. Or something, so me ask him to or you me all him does something, tola. When I'm walking by me, all him nan stop. You know what now, Plodot? Me I must so long okay now, me take quite long the set too. If I look at one plot, tomorrow me come and set, I'm blooming. Now, Pilas blooming, contact blooming, and me talk 20 through. If I get a look and finish.
The Garamut is a significant aspect of the Kayan villages. The Garamut is used as a medium to communicate announcements of deaths, warfare, or meetings. One village leader could not stress enough for every household in Kayan to own a Garamut. The mini exhibition was important. The Kayan community showcased sacred mask, the TVWAN, which is rarely shown outside the houseman. This is in preparation for a proposed exhibit to be staged in Bugia district. A festival will then be held in Medan district. The anticipation is that they may be selected to represent Medan province at the National Indigenous Business Forum to be held in Port Moresby in November of this year. And now the weather forecast for the next 24 hours. That brings us to the end of the news segment. Sports is next with Rex. Stay tuned.
It's in the highs and in the lows. It's in the big things and the small things too. It's hard to put into words, but you'll know it when you see it. Terrain Tamer, when quality counts.
Remember the joy of playing with your toys as a child? At Money Plus, we believe that every small business deserves a chance to build and grow. That's why we offer asset financing.
Our chance to building something new, to see a different point of view. With Money Plus, we're ready to go.
Mipla halivim wari belong you.
How would you describe your mother?
My mom is beautiful.
She is strong like Superwoman.
I love my mom because she always takes care of me.
My mom, she's so patient and loving. I feel she's always around.
Caring. She works so hard and always wants the best for me.
She's soft like her love.
My mom is everything, and I don't know what I'd do without her.
Softland, fragrance of a mother's love.
Change your TV plan to a postpaid plan and save more than 100 kina. Get a 30-day 40-channel plan for only 85 kina and get a free DTV plan to watch rugby league,
Blink and you miss it.
or Filipino dramas from anywhere you want.
Good idea.
How awesome is that?
What a moment.
Dial 1515 to speak to a TV agent and get yourself a postpaid TV plan today. Digicel TV. More channels, more choice, more value.
To be back here is pretty special, and I can't wait to get out of it.
And then the strike in this New South Wales team. It's frightening.
This is the best place in Australia to play rugby league.
Here they come.
Intercepted by Mitchell. Here comes Tommy again.
And Queensland won't be going to do it again. And the Maroons have reclaimed the front.
No mai, haere mai, ki te whenua. Welcome to the land and skies of our ancestors. From our mountains and our seas. From these grounds and waters of Australia. And Aotearoa, New Zealand. We welcome the FIFA Women's World Cup 2023 to come and play at ours.
After a colourful and spectacular opening ceremony, competition began on Sunday, June 18th, for PNG athletes at the 2023 Special Olympics World Summer Games in Berlin, Germany. In the badminton competition, each player was allowed to play one set only. PNG's Emmanuel Sevara defeated his Iranian opponent 21 points to 15. In women's singles, Martha Awong lost to her Kenyan opponent 21 points to 9. At Hans Brown Stadium, PNG female athletes completed the quarterfinals and semi-finals event. Grace Dindilo won her 50-meter semi-final sprint in a time of 13.7 seconds. In her pet event women's shot put round 1, Grace finished third in her division with a throw of 4.22 meters. She goes into the semi-finals today. Martha Mayasa finished first in the 200 meters with a time of 34.15 seconds. She goes into the semi-finals on Tuesday. In an exhilarating rugby league match over the weekend, the Enga Miocs emerged victorious with a 16-8 win over the Kimbe Cutters in Kimbe. There was unwavering funding support from the Cutters, showcasing commitment to fostering talent, promoting youth engagement, and addressing social challenges through sports. Miocs emerged triumphant with a 16-8 victory over the Kimbe Cutters in an intense rugby league match over the weekend. The game was witnessed by Governor Sir Peter Ipatas of Enga Province, showcased the talents of both teams. Governor Ipatas expressed his commitment to the mutual relationship between Enga and Kimbe, stating that they share a long-standing relationship and it is a win-win thing for Cutters as well as Miocs. West New Britain Governor Sachin Van Mutuvel extended his appreciation to Governor Ipatas for his presence at the game and his generous support of 50,000 kina to Kimbe Cutters. Talasia MP Freddie Kumai highlighted the importance of sports in youth engagement, stating that it is the responsibility of the national MPs and the government to ensure they have a team that represents West New Britain Province and to address law and order through this sport. The PNG Under-19 Garamut recorded their second win of the ICC EAP Under-19 World Cup qualifying tournament in Darwin. PNG Under-19 Garamut captain won the toss and elected to bat first. A decision favored the Garamuts as the batsmen piled on a challenging target of 221 when PNG innings was stopped in 38.4 overs. PNG innings was led by the young Downchitom, who top scored with 63 runs and was supported by captain Trevor Griffin with 48 runs, James Frank Momo 39 runs, Gaba Frank 22 runs, and Suvena Sin Tau 17 runs to contribute to 17 PNG's total run of 221. PNG battlers only used 38 overs to score their target, so an improvement area to note in the coming matches. In the Indonesian innings, their batters took up the fight against the PNG bowlers, but fell away short of the PNG target as they were bowled out of 148 runs in 45.2 overs to win by 73 runs. The PNG Under-19 Garamuts bowlers share the wicket as Warab Robin 2 over 14 runs, Anthony Tamarua David 2 out of 21, James Frank Momo 2 out of 24, Sylvania Sentau 2 out of 35, all taking 2 wickets apiece, while Charlie Tau Trevor Griffin took 1 out of 27 to contribute in the bowling effort that gave PNG Under-19 their second win of the tournament. The East Coast Football Club 2023 School Soccer Carnival and Academy program launched its preseason trial matches over the weekend at the St. John Guy Stadium in Port Moresby. Students from 7 schools attended the launching. The actual tournament starts in 3 weeks' time. The School Soccer Carnival is one of the 2 programs under the East Coast Football Club initiative to expand and grow football in the country. The other one is East Coast Football Academy program. Under the School Carnival program, the East Coast Football Club will start its season proper in July once the preseason is completed. The inaugural School Carnival is expected to go for 10 weekends before finals are played. In this tournament, there will be 7 teams participating in 7 divisions: under 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 and 15. Under 14 and 15 will field separate teams for boys and girls. For other divisions, both boys and girls will be playing together. Schools registered to participate are Gordons and Korabosia International Schools, Waigani Primary, Waigani Christian Academy, Gereu Primary and Kopkop College. With this program, the club is aiming to provide an avenue where children can play football consistently from their childhood into their youths.
I think we've recognized that there's been a neglect in terms of the demographic that we're looking at are the kids football. So we want to bridge that path, that bracket, and make sure that there's consistency through going through to the youth. So,
President of the East Coast Football Club, Shannon Andrew, believes that having programs like these is the best way forward for football in the country. It will give children enough exposure, experience and flexibility in football when they reach their youth. The school soccer carnival is part of the plan that East Coast Football Club is trying to create a pathway for the club. The young footballers are already showing interest in the program. The East Coast Football Club 2023 School Carnival is also in partnership with PNG Sports Foundation Go Rural to Go Global policy. New Zealand Rugby League is in talks with the government on the bid for the 2025 Rugby League World Cup, which will include co-hosting with Pacific Island nations, but not Australia. It would be an inclusive and diverse World Cup, including the men's, women's, wheelchair and physical disability tournaments. International Rugby League is desperate to find a new home for the sport's showpiece tournament after France pulled out in May because of the financial reasons. New Zealand Rugby League say they have a vision for the next World Cup that would not only bring the tournament to New Zealand, but take games to Pacific Islands for the first time. New Zealand Rugby League believes this could deliver a unique World Cup and one that acknowledges the important role players from the Pacific Islands have played in the sport in recent years. Gulf Iso recorded their third win of the season on Saturday after overcoming an equally strong EMK Pride side 18 points to 16 in round 10 of the DigiShell ExxonMobil Cup played at the Santos National Football Stadium. Iso were good enough to back themselves after last week's thrilling upset win over the Port Moresby Vipers 18 points to 12 at the Sir Hubert Murray Stadium. The win now places Iso clear 5th position with 7 points, while Pride drops back to 6th place with 5 points in Pool B.
Both franchises took to the field with the same intensity and determination to continue their good form after recording respective wins over Vipers and Tabaris in round 9 last week. However, from the outset, Pride showed a lot of enthusiasm in attack, changing their arms early, only for Iso's razzle-dazzle number 6, Justin Yoka, coming up with a beautiful intercept and scooted away to put Iso's 6 points in front. Iso's lead was short-lived when Pride got into their mojo with back-to-back tries to bulky prop forward Muka Pita and left winger John Paul Mango to hit the front 10-6 until half-time. After the break, it was Iso's number 6 Yoka on show again, this time a quick dart out of dummy half caught Pride's goal line defense slow to react and slammed the ball down under the uprights to retake the lead 12-10. Pride served well by veteran Morto Para Jr. and young Michael Ruggie in the 7 and 6. From an attacking set on halfway, Ruggie initiated a short side play on the left, went through the hands before finding Pride's fullback Roy Ellison on the inside to streak away for a 16-12 lead. With 10 minutes before time, Iso's crafty number 9 Presley Soto again would put his team back on the equal terms 16-all. But it was the conversion from Gabby Tana that mattered the most at the end, with Iso taking the points home 18-16 at full time.
It was, I think, a scrappy game a bit. Building in from last week, we had a lot of opportunities to put them away, but we just took the wrong options. Anyway, we're just happy with the wins. I think our resilience, turning up for each other and defending our own try line, especially at the back end of the game. So the boys really, dug deep and withstand pressure from the Pride.
Harry Longboot, TVWAN Sports.
2022 PNG National Rugby League champions Croton Hella Wigmen have found their winning formula, putting on another dominant performance on Sunday to beat Moniplus NCDC Port Moresby Vipers 18 points to 14 in round 10 of the DigiShell ExxonMobil Cup at the Santos National Football Stadium. Vipers had a number of opportunities that could have turned the game in their favour, but poor execution let them down big time.
Defending champions Hella Wigmen have again reaffirmed their title defense after putting away an equally star-studded Vipers outfit in a hard-fought win 18-14 to record their 5th straight win since round 5. As expected, it was a showdown of two of the heavyweights of the National Rugby League competition, with both teams fielding their best 17 men for the brutal encounter that kept their fans on the edge of their seats. After weathering the storm in the first 10 minutes of the opening half, Wigman's General Solomon Pukari, displaying his strong leadership and direction through the middle, saw right winger Siki Content dive over for the opening try of the match on the 11th minute for a 4 points lead. Vipers would look for an immediate response, and they did just that. This time it was nippy number 7, Nicky Hassel, to weave a bit of his own magic when he caught the Wigman's defense off guard to level the score 4-all. As if that was not enough, Vipers were over again, this time with the number 6, Melik's Winners, sticking his nose over the line to put Vipers further in front 10-4. Wigman were able to regroup quickly at the back of some good roll-on through the middle. A quick shift to the left found young try-scoring freak Cheryl Saber, who easily beat the Vipers' defense to the line for a 10-all halftime score. A penalty kick from Pukari after the break put Wigman in front by 2 points before former Wigman Gilmore Paul crashed over on the left corner to push Vipers back in front 14-12 on the 65th minute. The pace and physicality of the game continued into the final 10 minutes until Saber silenced the Vipers crowd with the match winner. At full time, the final score: Wigman 18, Vipers 14.
Really improved from last weekend. Now everything is week in, week out, so you have to improve from previous game to be a competitive player.
Not the result we wanted, but I'm happy with the efforts of the boys. Small things that costed us the game. But we still have next week to go, so we'll work on it and come back stronger next time.
Harry Longwood, TVWAN Sports.
That's all we have for sports. Over to you, Mary.
Thank you, Rex. That wraps up our news segment tonight. Pleasant viewing. Bye for now.
The TVWAN News was proudly brought to you by BSP, our bank, our people.